A little cultish, maybe? I want to touch today briefly on the subject of cults. I'm sure this is a topic I'll return to again later because I think it's fascinating, particularly as it pertains to the USA at the present time, and also because of the role of the internet in this phenomenon. But really today I'm not so much talking about cults themselves as some of the behaviours and states of mind that might contribute to them or make us susceptible to them. I think much of what I have to say hinges on obsessive compulsive behaviours. We probably have that uncle or friend who is obsessed with trains or World War II memorabilia or the Grateful Dead. Maybe we're that person ourselves from time to time. Many people, or maybe this is just a type of person, someone with particular personality traits, but many people become obsessed with a person or a thing or an idea. It's the only thing they can think and talk about. It's like an addiction, and there may well be physiological factors involved here, such as the release of certain chemicals in the brain and the establishment of certain dominant neural pathways. We get stuck in a groove. The object of our obsession can dominate our lives. It can become the lens through which we view and evaluate everything else. It can be the core around which we build our identity. Now, some people are probably more prone to this than others, but it becomes our own personal cult. Of course, it can also become something that drives a wedge between us and our friends and our family. Oh no, there goes Ross again, talking about dinosaurs. If we're obsessing over a particular writer, actor, or musical artist, stanning them, as we might say these days. If you don't understand that word stanning, I posted a video a little while back on this and other neologisms. It just simply means an excessive form of fandom. But if we're obsessed with a writer, actor, artist, it can become quite challenging when we encounter something by them that we don't really like. Maybe it's part of their output as an artist, or maybe it's something about their personal life or their behaviour. But it's something that challenges our understanding of them, something that we don't really like. We try to force ourselves to explain it away in some way if it's a behaviour we don't like, or to like it if it's a work of art that they've put out, even though we know it's not really up to scratch. A kind of duplicity, a rift, a discordance forms within us that makes us feel very uncomfortable. We begin to live a lie to ourselves. We don't particularly like that song, that movie, that book by the artist we're obsessed with, but we can't admit it to ourselves. To do so threatens the investment that we've made in that person. It threatens our identity. We also feel that in some sense we're betraying our idol. We're not being faithful to them. So we live with a lie, or try to. This is exacerbated if we're part of a community that shares this obsession. They all like it, or they seem to. On the other hand, maybe they're hiding their true feelings too. But how can we be sure? It's too risky speaking out. It's too risky thinking our own thoughts. The object of our obsession has come to dominate our life and our own sense of self. How can we go forward if cracks are appearing in our devotion? Obviously, you can see where this is going. I think this lies at the basis of cult behaviour. It's not the only thing, of course, and I hope to address this in more detail another time, but it's surely one factor at play here. Our tendency to become obsessed with something to such an extent that it begins to define our identity, and we don't see who we can be without it. I'm very aware of these tendencies within myself, and it's yet another part of me that I fight against. Yes, the person you see before you is the scene of an ongoing civil war, with not just two but many sides. Which of these armies at war here is the real me? I've pretty much given up trying to understand that. I am not one part of this conflict. I'm not one side of this battle. I am the battle. I don't actually think I would be susceptible to the charms of an actual cult. My aversion to social interaction would shield me from that. But this hints at another pretty obvious factor in cult behaviour, namely this need to belong, which, incidentally, I don't think I have to any great degree. I also think I'm likely to have serious intellectual difficulties with anything that may be considered a cult. Skepticism really comes in handy. Now, I'm not suggesting that I'm completely immune to the lure of cults. Maybe there is one out there that would suck me in. Maybe the Skeptic Society or the I don't believe in fairies either society. Even so, I think my natural aversion to human interaction is likely to protect me to some extent. On the other hand, I'd probably be much more susceptible to an online cult. They won't get any money out of me, though. I don't have any. And anyway, I'm far too stingy for that. See, even our faults have their uses.